Hi, I'm a registered dietitian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Savannah.
Savannah. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Savannah. So what brings you in today?
Basically, I was just wanting to discuss my eating habits. With my busy schedule, it gets really hard to make healthy choices. I find myself just gorging when I get home because I'm so hungry during the day. And I'm basically just wanting to get some ideas on some ways I can prevent that from happening.
Okay.
So
Okay, great. So do you mind if I take notes while we?
that's fine.
Okay. So can you run me through kind of what your day is like?
Well, basically, I eat breakfast. Usually try to get a workout in on my later days that I come to school. And I try to pack my lunch when I'm here all day, but it gets so busy and leave early in the morning where sometimes I don't have time to pack enough to last me until 5 o'clock because that's when I leave.
Okay.
So usually it's just like a PB&J and some yogurt, maybe an apple, and water.
Okay.
So I'm usually really hungry by like 3 or 4 o'clock, and then I usually come home starving, and then eat whatever I can get my hands on before dinner, and then have dinner, and then sometimes a snack afterwards.
Sometimes snacks. So the biggest problem seems to be when you come home, you're the most hungry.
Yeah.
Okay. So what time do you usually wake up in the morning?
Probably about 7:30 or 8 on my later days, and like 6:30 or 7 when I have to come to school.
Okay. And do you usually eat breakfast directly afterwards? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a pretty breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can fit those in. It's more just being busy to find the right snacks to pack.
Yeah, and I guess my lunch it doesn't have enough protein or whatever to sustain me as long as I need it to. So.
Okay. So do you live at home or do you live by yourself?
I live at home and I commute in.
Okay. So I would assume, do you do most of the grocery shopping or someone else?
Well, I live with my parents, so sometimes I go to the grocery store, but usually when it's like test week or something, my parents are the ones doing the shopping.
Okay. And do they tend to buy healthier products, things you like?
They do. My whole family tends to eat healthy except for my little brother, so he keeps chips and popcorn and Pop-Tarts and everything all the time. So I find myself eating his food when I'm hungry.
So those are the trigger foods kind of when you get home. Okay, that makes sense. Well, do you pack snacks or is it more just the lunch that you like to focus on?
I would like to pack a snack. Usually, like if I pack a yogurt, I save that for like my snack to try to spread it throughout the day, but the most I can usually find time to grab is an orange or some carrots, which doesn't hold me very long. So.
Right. Okay. So maybe what we might want to focus on is packing more food. Actually, what sounds like to sustain you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just never have time in the mornings to allow time to do that. So.
Okay. So what are your evenings like? You say you usually get home, and do you do homework after dinner and things like that?
Yeah, I come home, eat, and then probably do some schoolwork before dinner, and then have dinner with my family, and then usually go back down to my room and study.
Okay. So would you find that at night would possibly be a good time to pack that's a little calmer than in the mornings?
Yeah, that'd probably be easier because in the mornings I'm always rushed. I hit the snooze a lot, so.
Right. That usually happens. Okay, cool. So maybe packing at night could be an option. Does that seem like something you would want to do?
Yeah, I think I could. It's just making myself do that. I guess I could probably do it while I'm already upstairs in the kitchen, like after dinner or something.
And I'm guessing, does your mom usually cook for dinners or?
Yeah, my mom, my dad occasionally.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It would be a family thing. So maybe as they're cooking dinner, you could be cooking your next day's meals.
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of things do you usually like for snacks? I know you're saying like an orange, but that doesn't really fill you up.
Yeah, peanut butter is not really like much my thing. I like yogurt. I really like drinking milk like when I'm hungry. I just feel like that's got protein and so I like popcorn. That's really good. Yeah, sometimes chips.
Yeah, sometimes chips. Okay. Well, that doesn't sound like bad options at all. Obviously,
No.
dairy might be hard to bring to school, but popcorn I know is a great snack to bring. So when you come home, maybe eating, do you feel like it's hard to find time to eat along with the fact that you don't bring enough?
Well, not when I get home. Usually I want something like quick and fast, so
Mhm.
usually it's whatever I can get my hands on, which is
Okay,
usually
right.
just nasty
Your
stuff.
brothers.
Yeah, I don't. I'm so hungry. I don't really want to eat like just popcorn or
Healthy.
milk or whatever. That doesn't
Right.
really satisfy me. So
Okay.
I guess my problem is I just let myself get too hungry.
Okay.
So
And how long is your commute to your parents' house?
in the mornings it's like an hour, but in the afternoons usually about 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay, that's not bad. When you snack, do you like to snack in the morning before lunch, or most of your snacking you like to do like between classes or
Between
lunch
classes, mainly like after lunch.
Okay.
Usually I'm ready for lunch when I get out of my first class, so I eat that early, and then
Mhm.
I'm hungry at like 2. So.
Okay. So maybe you usually say you have a snack. Do you have
Mhm.
one after lunch also?
I mean, whatever I don't eat for my lunch, which is really small anyway. So.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe adding something else to your, do you
Mhm.
like yogurt,
Yeah.
to your lunch. But you don't necessarily have to do this, but I was thinking if you have a 30-minute commute and you know you're hungry when you get home, have a snack just for the car.
That's
when
an
you're,
idea
when
too.
you're driving home.
Yeah.
Just so you have that. So okay, so those are some things we could do. Does that sound feasible to you?
Yeah, I like the snack for the car ride home. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else about your schedule that you just find complicated to?
Not really about my schedule. I get frustrated with the microwaves on campus because I feel like I could bring a better lunch. I am more satisfied with like a hot lunch, but I find the microwaves on campus disgusting.
Yeah.
So I find that I really can't eat my food when I heat it up in there because I'm so grossed out.
Right.
So that's a big barrier. So I just need to, I guess,
So things like
find more.
leftovers might not be.
Yeah, I mean I've tried it. It just grosses me out.
Okay.
So I think I just need to like spend some quality time in the grocery store
Right.
each week.
Because you said you don't like peanut butter, so I'm assuming, do you usually
Yeah,
make the
I mean
sandwiches?
I
or?
like it, but it's just not like PB&J is not my go-to thing. I guess I need to bring like peanut butter to eat with my apple as like a snack. I could
Mhm.
do that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And so for lunch ideas, you say you use a sandwich. Do you have like other options that you usually think of, or is it mostly just?
Usually a sandwich is just the easiest thing I can do, whether it's PB&J or turkey, or sometimes I'll make like a wrap or a salad.
Okay.
But sandwiches are probably just the easiest things
Fastest
that I can just throw together in the mornings and be done. So.
Okay. So yeah, maybe having. So we talked about eating or making your lunch for the night before.
Mhm.
Might be helpful in having more snacks. The nasty microwaves, yeah, that is an issue. I've seen them; they're disgusting. But overall, you feel like you have enough healthy options. It's not really about getting those nutrients. It's more
No,
just
I
timing
mean,
it.
yeah, I just need to make sure I pack time. I mean, I pretty much eat a fruit smoothie every morning for
Okay.
breakfast anyway, so I'm not necessarily craving fruit for a snack. I just need to make myself go get other foods that will
Okay.
satisfy me. So
Okay, yeah.
I guess I just find a hard time finding time to do that, but
Yeah, definitely understandable. So do you feel like if you were to have those extra snacks, your brother's snacks wouldn't be as tempting when you went home?
probably not. If I was more full throughout the day, I wouldn't be like famished
Mm-hmm.
by the time I get home. I think that's the major reason why I snack is just I just need quick energy fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, very cool. And you said you usually get a workout in after breakfast. That's really good.
Yeah, I try to do that. Usually it ends up on the days that I don't have class, but Wednesdays when we have later class, I try to do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Exactly, 'cause you're just starving and want to eat. Okay, so yeah, I think definitely the snack thing is great. Let me think. Is there anything else that maybe the grocery store that you have questions on, or anything else that you'd like to work on?
Not that really I can think about. I think I just mainly need to like make the time for myself to make lunches. I know what the problem is. I just can't like follow through and prevent it from happening. So.
So with your family, do you feel like they can be supportive or help you out a little bit with like trying at night to cook, or if your mom would want to cook? I don't know. She just did dinner, so I don't know if she wants to cook lunch.
I mean, I think she would definitely. If I gave her a list of stuff that I wanted, she would go get it at the store for me, so I could like pack lunch. She can't really make my lunch for me because she's busy too.
Right.
I am 22, so.
Right. No, that's great.
But yeah, I have a supportive environment. So.
Okay, good. So with the snacks, from maybe 1 to 10, how confident are you feeling that you can do that?
If they're in the house already, I'm pretty confident I can throw them in my bag. So. You said on a scale of like 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like an 8 or 9.
Okay.
Maybe even a 10 if they're available. My problem is just
Availability.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. And how often did you say your mom usually grocery shops?
I mean, we live like a mile down the road from the grocery store, so it's not often. We're there like every day.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that's nice.
or every 2 days, but we try to not do it that often. But
Okay. Okay, so availability anytime. Let's see. Packing lunch. Oh, the car snacks. How confident do you feel like you can do that?
maybe like a 7.
Okay.
Again, I just have to find the time and a good snack that like maybe wouldn't have to be refrigerated or
Mm-hmm.
controlled or whatever.
Like
that
the popcorn maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else in your head that you've been thinking of, maybe I want to try this? To help.
I think I liked the making the lunch at night.
Mhm.
I could pack, most of it, put the sandwich in the fridge and stuff, and just have it ready to grab in the morning when I go. I just haven't really thought of that before,
Okay.
so I think that'd be a really good option.
Okay, great. So would you, next time, if you'd like to meet again, we can talk about how the snacks are coming along. If you find that you're really hungry after school, the snacking on your brother's food improves. And and packing the lunch the night before. Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm a registered dietitian.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So what brings you here today?
I am a full-time student and I also work full-time, so I just have a really hard time just with my busy schedule, just kind of planning ahead, and then I don't usually prepare enough and I don't have enough food with me. And then the biggest issue is that whenever I get home, I just am really hungry usually and end up just eating a lot. And so it's just kind of, I just need help as far as like guidance in that area.
Okay,
if that makes
okay.
sense.
So you're having a hard time finding time to like pack good foods to last you through the day.
Right.
Okay. Well, first of all, do you mind if I take notes today?
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So what is your typical day like? Like what kind of foods do you eat when you wake up?
So it kind of just depends on my schedule. So I know like at my job, I usually have to be at work around 5:30 in the morning. So I kind of have to wake up last minute and kind of just go. And then if I have to be at school, I usually wake up around like 6-ish. And I try to have some kind of morning routine set up, but it doesn't always work that way if I have like a test or anything where I'm just
Really busy.
really busy and tired. And so sometimes it'll be like oatmeal or leftovers or something like that from during the week. I try to kind of make things and have enough for leftovers for whenever I have like some kind of emergency and I'm really hungry. And sometimes I don't even really get to eat a lot at all. I'll kind of just grab like a coffee or something whenever I get to school.
Okay.
And I don't really have like set meals really. I just kind of eat random snacks throughout the day. So
Okay.
like I usually bring something for class and then I usually have something like for between classes and then but it's still not enough usually to like tide me over. So, like for class, I'll bring like some fruit or like some cashews or anything that's kind of easy to pack. And then usually there are microwaves at school, so I can bring some kind of leftover thing there.
Okay.
But it's just I don't plan enough to where there's a good amount of time where I'm still like not or where I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
So by the time I get home, I'm just like eating whatever I
Okay.
have.
So do you find like when you get home that's like your prime snacking time? Or
Yeah, right after I get home, and then also like shortly before I'm going to bed, like I just get really kind of sleepy and just kind of groggy and just really hungry.
Okay.
And my boyfriend and I live together, and he has a really horrible diet, so we have all of this like junk food in our house.
Okay.
So I
That
think
definitely makes it hard.
it definitely does. So that can be really, really tough too, because like I think if I didn't have that stuff around me, it would be a lot easier.
For sure. For sure.
So yeah.
So what are your favorite foods like to snack on? Like if you had your ideal day, like, you know, anything you could have, what's your go-to foods?
I really like anything kind of sweet and salty, so I really like a banana with like peanut butter or almond butter or something like that.
Okay, that's a great snack.
I do sometimes when I want something a little sweeter, I usually go for like chocolate covered raisins, or I usually get a big thing of like Lara bars or Luna bars, and I'll like take one of those with me. So just kind of things like that.
Okay. Okay.
Kinda.
So it sounds like you're just having a hard time finding time to just pack enough for the day. Do you have any ideas of maybe what will work with your schedule, like maybe doing it at night or waking up a little bit earlier, or what do you think would work best for you to solve this problem?
I think the hardest thing would be waking up earlier, just because my schedule's so inconsistent. So probably the best thing would be at night, like the night before.
Okay.
I think just the hardest thing would be finding, like prepping some kind of breakfast ahead of time, but I could work on something like that.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. Now you said your boyfriend Adam, he doesn't really like to eat all the foods that you do. He keeps a lot of other stuff in the
Yeah.
house.
We don't eat any of the similar foods at all.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Do you think he would be willing to kind of help you, maybe go grocery shopping, or maybe put his most foods that you really know you shouldn't have maybe in a separate spot so they're just not like as convenient for you, or?
Yeah, he probably would. I hadn't really thought about really talking to him as much about it. I know that he works full time, so our schedules are a little opposite too. So I honestly it happens more whenever he's not there.
Okay.
Because he knows that I try to eat healthy, but I feel like I'm more inclined to eat the junk food that he has when he's not there.
Okay.
I guess just because I don't want him to give me crap for it.
Okay, so when you're coming home at night or in the afternoons and you're hungry and you're eating your snacks, how are you feeling? Are you tired, stressed, just?
I'm usually, it tends to be more whenever I'm really stressed,
Okay.
especially around times with exams, or just whenever I know that I have a lot going on. I kind of tend to overextend and get involved in too many things, and so I just get really overwhelmed, and that's kind of, food's always been kind of like a comfort for me. So yeah, that's what I notice it the most, and usually during those times it's not, I wish that it could be something healthier, but it's usually something really bad, like cakey or brownie or something that's not necessarily healthy. I can't just, a piece of fruit or something doesn't really work for me.
Well, those things they're okay in moderation, and I don't think it's bad to come home and if you want one of those, eat one, but maybe a smaller portion and maybe eat something healthier with it, like a glass of milk or a banana or something might be a good option to where you're still satisfying your sweet tooth but getting other nutrients in as well. Would that be something you could do?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of it that way. It's just kind of been more just eating until I chill out.
Yeah, because I understand when you're stressed, you just want those certain things. So maybe you can still have it, just smaller, and maybe eat the stuff that you know you should be eating in conjunction with it.
Okay.
Do you think that would work, or is it just not?
I think so. I think, yeah, I do think that would work.
Okay.
I think
So on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that you could maybe start incorporating those healthier items?
I would say like a 4.
Okay.
You mean like just during like when I'm stressed out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like a 4. I always try and then I just don't, so I don't really have a lot of like confidence in it as much or in myself as much for doing that, but
Okay.
I definitely would be willing to give it a go.
Okay.
So.
Well, what do you think would make you more confident?
Honestly, I think it would just, I feel like I just don't have another outlet to redirect any kind of stress, you know,
Okay.
like I don't really have any, it's just I'm constantly going, and so I think that even though I would like to say that I could, you know, pair it with something, I think that
That's just the way you do it.
yeah.
So
yeah. I would try it though. I would definitely try it. I hadn't really thought of it that way. It's just more of, I think I'm just nervous because I've tried it so many times and it hasn't worked always.
Okay. Well,
so.
you know, we can always start with small goals. Would you want to set a goal of maybe like 1 day a week, just trying that?
Sure. Yeah, that seems more maybe
Okay.
that I can feel better about it.
Yeah. How confident on a scale of 1 to 5 do you think you'll be to do that?
For once a week, like a 5.
Okay.
I feel good about
Okay.
that.
Well, I think that's a great start. You know, you can always,
Mhm.
if you feel like you can do it more, or if it's working for you, you can try more, and we can talk about it next time as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as your lunches, you know, it sounds like you're having a really hard time. You're rushed in the mornings, and you just kind of grab whatever you can and go. Do you think that packing your lunch at night might be a really a better option for you?
Yeah, I think that would make more sense than doing it in the morning, just because I never really, my
Right.
schedule's kind of weird. But I think at night that's kind of the only consistent time that I'm really home.
Okay, so you
know?
have a little bit more time to
Yeah.
plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's your school environment like? Like, are you able to bring foods to heat up, or do you prefer just like cold stuff, or?
There are microwaves, so I could heat up food, but like during class, I try to bring something cold or something that, you know, isn't like
You can just
doesn't
eat right
smell or you know like something that's not gonna like be weird for other
Distracting.
people around me. But yeah, so I could do both. I usually for class I have something colder and then I try to bring something warm or something more like substantial for between classes.
Okay.
But yeah, so I could do either one.
Okay. Do you feel like there's options if you're just having a particularly busy morning and you don't have time to grab anything? Would you have access to find something, a healthier option on campus to sustain you for the rest of the day, or is it just kind of what you bring is?
It's one of the main reasons why I bring stuff is just because I don't feel like Georgia State really has very many good
Right.
options, and also I just don't want to spend a lot of money on, you know, the places that do have stuff that would be healthier. Excuse me. The places that would be healthier usually are more expensive, and
yeah.
you know,
I understand on a
so,
tight budget it gets hard.
yeah.
Okay, well, so we're setting a goal of 1 day a week for the incorporating maybe having a smaller snack that satisfies you with other things, and then you're going to try packing your lunch at night. How often do you want to do that?
I have school 3 days a week, so I would at least like to try maybe 2.
Okay. Try to pack your lunch 2 times a week
Yeah.
at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
So.
And when do you typically do your grocery shopping? Like, do you have it available all the time, or do you find some days where you just don't have much access to it? I know it's all your boyfriend's foods. Do you have the healthier stuff available, or is it just sometimes?
It kind of depends. I'm the one who usually goes grocery shopping, just because our schedules are so opposite, and I take a really long time at the grocery store, so he doesn't usually like to come with me. But I mean, I have access to my food. I think it's more just that I don't allow myself to have a lot of what he eats.
Right.
And so having it there, it's like, because I usually don't let myself have this, like, it's more tempting because it's there.
Right.
So yeah, I think that it's just more of a matter of being prepared and actually having food that I can quickly go to.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, so.
Okay, so do you think Adam would be willing to maybe go to the grocery store with you so y'all can pick out options together that might be good for both of you?
Yeah, I think maybe not all the time, but I think that he probably would come with me if I wanted him to, and especially if he knew how hard it's been for me to have the stuff that he has there.
So he's supportive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's really supportive. And I know that he's kind of trying to lose a little bit of weight too, so I know he's kind of interested in trying new things now. So I think he would probably be more open now than he has been in the past to come with me and try maybe more fruits and vegetables or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other concerns today?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just to wrap up, your goals: you're gonna pack lunch at least 2 nights a week, and you're gonna try to make breakfast once a week, right?
Right.
Okay. So just to go over your goals again for the week and until you come back next time. You set the goal of having maybe incorporating a healthier food with one of your I guess less healthier options once a week, and you're going to try to make your lunch about 2 to 3 times a week the night before, and you mentioned that Adam might try to go to the grocery store with you occasionally. Okay. Well, thank you for coming today.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Shelby.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you for
meet you.
being here today. So, what brings you here?
Well, I guess my biggest thing right now is trying to incorporate healthy eating when I'm at school. I tend to struggle a lot with, I guess, finding time to pack a healthy lunch, and also I live with my boyfriend and my mom, like kind of flip back and forth through their houses, and my family at my mom's house, they eat terribly. That can range from like pizza to chicken wings to Chinese food. Like my mom asked me the other night, "What do you want for dinner?" "I'm gonna go grab some Chinese food." And I was like, "Mom, you should stop asking me that by now." Although it is free, it is very tempting sometimes to eat unhealthy with my family. And then when I ever go to my boyfriend's house, he lives with 2 other guys, and if you can imagine, that's like really hard for me because they don't care about their diet, and it's not like a girl where they can have to watch what they eat.
Right.
And they also like to eat sweets, so that's also like a big thing for me, is like I love sweets. Like I love cookies, I love cake, I love chocolate, I love candy, I love all of it, and they love cooking. Like they like baking cookies and baking cakes, and whenever I come home and I'm starving, I just want to grab a cookie off the stove, or I want to grab one of the Hershey Kisses that's inside the pantry, because whenever I open the pantry, it's like sweets and just straight garbage.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I guess I just need to figure out what are some ways to avoid reverting to those kinds of things.
So, first of all, do you mind if I take notes today?
Not at all.
Okay, awesome. So, it sounds like between hopping between your boyfriend's house and your family's house, that it's really hard for you to maintain any kind of normal schedule or just being able to maybe plan ahead. Is that right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, just tell me kind of about your typical day. Like, regardless of who you're staying with the night before, whenever you go to school, what does your day look like?
So if I give myself time in the morning, I usually will wake up, make like an egg, some toast, and sometimes a banana and a glass of orange juice. That's if it's on a good day. I'll go to class, have a snack, which is usually a granola bar or another banana or some type of fruit. Then I'll have lunch. If I pack my lunch, lunch is really tough for me because I don't really have like a variety of options that I'm interested in. So I guess that's something else we can talk about. But it's either a peanut butter and honey sandwich or an avocado and tomato sandwich because I don't really like turkey meat. If I like pack it, I don't like it sitting in my lunchbox for a while. I don't like any kind of like meat or dairy and eating it like throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I'll have like another snack, which is probably like hummus and chips. Get home, and that period of time when I get home is usually the moment when I like go for something ridiculous.
Okay.
It's usually the time that I grab something out of the pantry that's like some kind of sweet, or some kind of like unhealthy snack like Lay's chips.
Okay.
And then dinner I'm really good at, usually for the most part. I usually do like salmon, kale, and quinoa. And depending on if Brian's roommate like makes cookies, then I'll have a cookie. On a day that I don't pack lunch for myself or I don't have time to make breakfast, sometimes I'll just skip breakfast. And I won't have anything to drink or anything to eat that morning until like my snack. Sometimes I don't have time to pack a snack, so I'll just eat on campus, most likely. And that'll be like, going with my friends somewhere.
Okay.
Thankfully, being a nutrition student, my friends are willing to go somewhere healthy, or it might be the opposite.
Right.
Depending on what kind of day it was.
Okay.
But yeah, and then when I get home, like I said, I usually get something unhealthy when I get home after school.
Mm-hmm.
And then for dinner, I'm pretty good at if I'm at my mom's house, I'll usually just eat whatever she makes, just because financially it's better for me. But my mom usually cooks okay stuff until she decides to get like some kind of fast food for the entire family, and that could be like Chinese food or something. And that's on a rare occasion, but that's on a bad day.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, do you feel like maybe incorporating healthier things would be something that like your boyfriend or your family would be willing to do as well, or do you feel like you have a good support system at home for that? Or?
Well, my family not so much. It's a little bit harder with my family because they're kind of like in their own ways. It's like kind of like 4 people against 1 person.
Okay.
Before, like my entire family, they would just like make fun of me. Especially my stepdad, he would literally eat, like, fast food 5 times a week.
Wow.
Like, literally 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she's just kind of, like, go-with-the-flow kind of person. My sister and her husband are really young, so their metabolism is ridiculous, and they can eat whatever they want any time of the day and still be really thin. But with my boyfriend, he's pretty health-conscious for the most part. It's just a matter of when he is like influenced by his roommates, and they want to, hey, do you want to order pizza, or hey, do you want to order Chinese, and that's really hard for me, especially when I'm like, I don't have a lot of money, or I'm really short on time because I need to study for a test.
Okay.
So I'll just like, oh yeah, count me in, I want pizza.
Okay.
But I think that if I express to him how important it is for me to I guess revise my eating habits, I think that could work. It's also just a matter of talking to his roommates too, but I think it's feasible.
Okay. So, as far as grocery shopping is concerned, I know since you're kind of going back and forth between the two, do you do a lot of grocery shopping, or
it's really hard because trying to get healthy foods, like I try and stay away from like the processed stuff. I'd like to think I could just shop at Fresh Produce, but every time I spend like $30 or $40 on Fresh Produce, and I go to my mom's, leave it there, go to Brian's, come back to my mom's, my Fresh Produce is all like wasted.
Okay.
So right now, like I'm trying to buy like Cliff Bars and granola. It's really hard for me to get. Sometimes I'm trying to eat more yogurt, but other than that, it's really hard for me to, especially because I don't have a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods near me anymore. I used to live in an area that had a close by, like healthy food market,
Right.
but I don't have that anymore. So it is a little bit hard for me
Okay.
to do the grocery shopping.
Yeah, it can be hard to find time for that
Yeah.
for sure. Do you think that it would be something that maybe your boyfriend or any of your family members would be interested in kind of doing together with you? Maybe since you're interested in healthier food, maybe you could, if it's something you're willing to try, maybe see if they wanted to come with you and maybe
Yeah.
kind of go together. Does that sound like something that could happen?
I think that is probably feasible with Brian, but with my family, not so much, just because our time schedules are really different. Like, I'll go home when they're sleeping or when they're just really tired because they work 12-hour shifts, so they don't really want to do the grocery shopping. My mom does all of her grocery shopping at Walmart, and I'm, like, totally against, like, Walmart, so I never go there with her. So, yeah, I usually do the grocery shopping on my own when it comes to going to my mom's, but with Brian, we normally do our grocery shopping together
Okay.
if we do grocery shopping.
Okay, so maybe let's talk about some goals that we can set between now and the next time you come by.
Sure.
How feasible do you think it would be for you to like maybe pre-pack your lunch maybe the night before, or like what do you think would be the best strategy for you as far as preparing ahead whenever you have school or a really busy day?
I think that I could do that if I make myself get up early.
Okay.
I always set my alarm for it, but then I snooze it like 10 times. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
crap, I'm about to be late for school.
Okay, so you feel like it'd be better to do it in the morning than the night
Yeah.
before? Okay. Okay, so do you want to try to maybe set a goal for that?
Sure.
Like, how many times would you say you would feel comfortable setting that goal to be? Like,
I think that I could do that. I think I could do that 3 times a week.
okay.
That would be really easy for me.
Okay. And that's getting up a little earlier and packing
Yeah.
for the day? Okay. And, like, on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that you could do that?
I think that I could do that. I'm a 10 on that.
Okay.
Oh, did you?
Sorry. It sounds like you're pretty confident that you'll be able to pack a lunch 3 times a week, waking up early, right? Okay, and what about maybe seeing if your boyfriend could go to the grocery store with you? How do you think that that's something that you'd like to try?
Yeah, I think that's pretty feasible.
Okay, and how often do you go to the grocery store, would you say?
Currently, that's tough to say. Like, recently I haven't been in a while just because of the time and finances. Well, I did go last week, but like I said, like, when I buy fresh produce and it kind of wilts away, recently it's been deterring me from buying the fresh produce. So I haven't been in a while since then, but I think I could make a conscious effort doing it.
Okay, so maybe, do you mind if I share some information with you?
Absolutely not.
You could definitely maybe do like frozen vegetables and frozen fruits instead.
Yeah.
Have you thought of doing that
I
before?
haven't before. It's a good idea.
Okay, because those will usually keep a little bit longer, and maybe then you could have like an ample supply at both of the places where you kind of go back and forth from.
Right.
Just to maybe resist a little bit of like
Right,
the temptation
urge,
of your
right.
boyfriend's
Yeah.
friends cooking and everything. So maybe that could be another goal if that's something you're interested in. Maybe just
Yeah.
buying more frozen and seeing how that keeps, if you still like the taste of that. Or
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so let's shoot for that if that's okay with you. And then maybe the next time you go grocery shopping, seeing if maybe your boyfriend wanted to come with you.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Is there anything else you'd like to discuss today, or any other information you wanted to know about?
I think that's all for now.
Okay. All right. So we will see you next time.
Thanks for having me.
coming. Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Shelby.
Claudia, nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you. If you don't mind me asking, how did you hear about me?
How did I hear about you? It was on the internet. I was just looking, being like, well, I need to talk to an RD. So
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, usually how my sessions go is I'll ask you a little bit about your diet,
Mhm.
jot down a few notes if you don't mind,
That's fun.
and maybe do some goal setting if that's feasible for you, and we can go from there.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Okay, so what brings you here?
Okay, well, I'm a student, so I also work part-time. So I have my schedule fluctuates a lot. And so I find it hard to think ahead with meals. I'm very big on just grabbing and going, but I always make sure I get my meals. I always pack a snack. But sometimes, especially this year, I've been bad with packing lunch. I've been eating out a lot more on campus. And meal prepping is probably what I struggle with the most, because I tend to eat really healthy. That's why I always struggle with my friends, like, they eat so much crap, but they never, gain weight, whereas I always eat healthy stuff, but, like, my portions are pretty big, because I'm still hungry.
Right, exactly.
And not meal prepping is probably a big thing, so, yeah, that's why I'm here.
So, on an average day, what's your diet like, going from breakfast to dinner time?
Okay. I always eat breakfast. I love breakfast. So I usually have either like a frozen waffle and peanut butter and a banana. Usually, like, in my breakfast, there's always peanut butter and banana in it. So I always eat breakfast, and I eat it like directly after I wake up, which sometimes I open twice a week. So sometimes that's at like 4:30 in the morning. So on those mornings, sometimes I don't have enough energy to make a lunch. So sometimes I'll bring snacks. Fruit's usually my snack options. But when I do pack my lunch, it's usually a sandwich. The thing I find most difficult about that is that I don't like meat that much, like to buy deli meat. So sandwiches get a little boring when you don't have any meat on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would usually just like bring a peanut butter, but I already had it this morning, so I don't want to like overdo it on the peanut butter. So sometimes recently, since I've stopped eating a lot of meat, it's become hard to pack a lunch that's actually sustaining.
Right.
Sometimes I'll pack a salad, but for the most part, I don't have a steady lunch or recipes to really make. So that's lunch. And then I usually am very busy after like 12:30 to around 6, so I usually don't eat a lot during that time. I eat most of my calories in the early afternoon. So then I'm just going through school, maybe work, and I come home, and when I come home, I usually don't eat that much. I'll eat a snack. Some days if I'm really hungry, I'll eat a lot, but for the most part, that's not a struggle area. So I usually have a snack and maybe work out. It depends. And then make dinner. And I eat dinner kind of early. I eat dinner at like 6. And then I won't go to bed until 10 or 11. So around 8, when I may watch TV or something, that's when I have the problem of eating kind of like an extra meal
Right.
instead of a snack. Or even if I'm not that hungry, it's just I like having something to eat while I'm watching TV. But since I don't allow myself to buy a lot of snack food, it's kind of hard to pick something healthy but still gonna like be sustaining.
What do you eat for dinner normally?
It varies. Sometimes it's really simple, like a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like quinoa. I always try to incorporate some vegetables in my dinner because it's hard to bring it with you to school.
Right.
But I don't have a lot of recipes. I kind of just, sometimes my roommates will look at me and I have the weirdest stuff put together and I'm like, I don't know, I was hungry and I ate this. So
Yeah, I understand.
yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you do need to eat a little bit later because you are working out and you eat your dinner so late or so early. So around 8 o'clock sounds about the right time that you are craving something pretty heavy.
Right.
What I can recommend is that maybe like having something prepared, or maybe just even a cookbook would be a good idea. Getting some more ideas, kind of like, because I know for myself, I don't really like to have meat products for lunch, and it is kind of inconvenient. Yeah, you get bored of your meals.
Right.
So for me, my go-to for lunch is usually like I'll bring like an avocado and I'll bring like a whole tomato, and I'll pack 2 slices of bread and have mustard on that, and when I get to school, I'll cut those open, and that way, so it's like not, it doesn't rot when, as the day goes by. For dinner time, it is a little bit tougher, but because you're up a little bit later, I think it is necessary to have like a snack. Maybe not something that's too heavy, but maybe just, since you like peanut butter and bread, maybe just like one slice of bread and peanut butter. Or I know that a lot of my clients like to drink teas before they go to sleep. That helps them get sleepy, and with a little bit of honey, it's kind of sweet too. So those are good ideas. Do you have anything else that you think that you've been thinking about trying, or that might help you?
Having recipes that aren't that difficult to make is probably, because I'm very simple, and I like exactly. If I see a recipe and it has more than like 10 ingredients, I'm not making it.
Right.
So it's very like simple recipes that I would like to do, and I've started doing things like maybe buy a whole chicken and put it in the crock pot. Like crock pot seems really feasible for me. And because then I do have some meat like for the weekend that I actually like. It's not just pre-sliced. So that seems to be something I want to do, but I haven't actually gotten around to do it. Right. But I do think meal prepping would probably be the best, because sometimes when either stressed or I'm bored or overwhelmed with anything, I'll usually just try to find the food that's already there that's going to like fill me up the quickest, Right. And if I already have something planned meal-wise, I'll probably just go for that instead of anything else I can find.
Right, exactly. I think a lot of people struggle with that as well. Also, for lunchtime, I know that a lot of people like to make their smoothies and take it with them, kind of like put it in a mason jar, and it keeps it pretty fresh. Okay, so aside from all of that, what is your support system like? Like, how is your family whenever you go to their house? How are your roommates' eating habits whenever you're home?
Right. I have 2 roommates, and they're pretty healthy eaters. They might have a little bit of junk food, but they're really good at portion control. Like, they'll have one thing for dinner, and then they're done. Like, they really don't need to eat that much more. So they're really good at that. I'm not really that tempted. Sometimes they'll have chocolate and ask me, I'm free to have some, which I usually do. But it's not that bad. Usually with my parents' house, if I go home on the weekends, they do not eat healthy. Most of the food they have is a lot of snack food. And so, of course, when I don't buy snack food,
right.
I just constantly am eating, which is kind of hard because I've talked to them about eating healthy for years, and they get a little better, but they still keep stuff in the house. So I try not to even stay at my parents' house that long, because I know I'm just going to eat a bunch. So I plan ahead, because I know I have no control when I go over there. I'm going to eat. So I try to like plan the day before, or like before I go over to their house, like not eat a lot, because I know when I go there I'm going to. So their house is more of like a trigger house to me. I try not to spend too much time over there, at least in the kitchen.
How often do you stay at your parents' house, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I probably see them 2 or 3 times a month. So not too much where it would really affect me, but I saw them like last time I was there, which was 2 days ago. I just ate the entire day,
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of trigger food. So their house is definitely just a completely different area that I'm used to compared to my house, my environment.
Do you usually spend the night there, or do you usually just go there for a couple of hours?
Usually just for like an evening. I used to sleep over there a lot, but now I really don't.
I was going to say, if you were sleeping over, that would be a little bit more difficult, but eating beforehand is a good idea. If your parents aren't really like interested in shifting their eating habits, then eating beforehand is a good idea to avoid that trigger. So I guess if you're comfortable with it, we can try and set some goals for you.
Okay.
We talked about meal prepping on your days off. Do you think that that's a pretty easy task for you to do?
Yeah, not as easy. I have to get the mindset to do it. Yeah. But it's something I want to do.
Yeah. Maybe 2 or 3 days a week would be easier than going gung ho on it
Right.
and doing 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do 2 to 3 days and see how that works.
Mhm.
And I have a couple books that and brochures that I can send your way after this meeting, kind of help you out and give you some recipes to go to.
Yeah.
Usually,
yeah.
do you have a crock pot?
I do. It's
Yeah.
small, but
Yeah.
it's
And usually people do that or cut up in salads and have that prepped up for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And your supportive environment sounds pretty, they sound fine, so it doesn't seem
Mhm.
like that's a big deal. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel you can do 2 to 3 days on meal prepping?
Probably like a 5. I can probably do Sundays are my days that are most relaxed that I can like do meal prep. So I can definitely see myself doing it on Sundays, maybe for like a couple days of the week. Weekends are I don't know when I eat,
Yeah.
but weekdays
Varies.
I would like to have something that I could keep eating or have leftovers
Right.
or I like that.
What do you think would make that a 7 or 8?
For meal prep, just simple having the recipes. I think
Mhm.
that's my biggest thing is I don't like complicated meals. So if
Yeah.
it's simple enough, I can see myself doing it.
Mhm.
If it gets to where there's a lot of ingredients, I probably don't see myself doing
Right.
it.
Okay.
Especially if it's I've tried to make healthier meals before, and it's like you have to go to not even Whole Foods. You have to go to some specific natural food store. It's like
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want to go to Kroger and
Mhm.
go get it. So that would definitely bring me up, and it's really my mindset. Like if I stick my mind to something, I'll do it. It's just having the desire to do it.
Right.
So I think one day is definitely good if I have recipes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, 1 day is better than is a good start.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sundays we can do meal prepping for the week, and
Right.
next time I see you, we can see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It definitely sounds
Okay,
good.
great. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. No